time here on 100 Yards of Football, our new NFL insider, Mr. Avish Patel, coming to us live. So if you like the video today, please come in and share it. And special thanks to our producer today that's making it happen, Mr. Logan Landis. Let's talk about the Dallas Cowboys. My team since 1966. I was 6 years old, so I know about this Cowboys organization. They got a lot of needs that's going to have to happen in April. And one of them is in the offensive line based on the fact that Mr. Zach Martin retired yesterday. Mm-hmm. So, Mr. Patel, tell us a little bit about the offensive line. And one gentleman that you've been talking about is Mr. Kelvin Banks, offensive tackle out of the University of Texas.
Yeah, I like Kelvin Banks Jr. a lot. I've seen him for about 3 years now playing for Texas. He was highly recruited, 5-star out of high school in Texas, and decided to stay home as well. And he had a tremendous career at Texas. Started for 3 years, has good amount of experience under his belt. And on top of that, his size. I think he's massive. He's similar to the build Zach Martin's on. At 6'4", 324 pounds, he runs a 5.17 40 time. And that's just incredible at his size. And he has a certain skill set that fits well with the Cowboys as well, especially in the passing game. Even though we had a decent passing block this past year, we were ranked in the top 10. But I think we still need to improve upon that only because Zach Martin's retiring and we had some injury struggles as well. But what kind of stands out to me from watching his film is kind of his quickness. He has athleticism, and he's extremely light on his feet. By what I mean is when you watch his film, he's swiftly able to get back on his drop to kind of neutralize the pass rushers. And that's a really unique skill set. I think that's really old school type of football player that I really, really enjoy watching. And on top of that, he's well densed, has a good balance on his body, and you know, he's able to anchor and absorb blockers and power from opposing forces really well. And that really fits him really well in the passing scheme. As far as in the run game goes, which is where the Cowboys need the most amount of help, especially in the past year when without having Dak, and even with Dak, we were really struggling in the run game. I think that he's very quick and agile to kind of get out on the perimeter to help with the stretch runs and maybe help with the screen passes as well. And that's one of his fortes. So I really enjoy him in the running game as well. And his speed to kind of get to the next level, to kind of block the linebackers, open up space, you know, and helping open up holes for the running game, maybe help them achieve 2, 3, 4 more yards than what they normally would get. I think that goes tremendously on first and second down to help them kind of clear up and have a short third and short situation to maintain that consistency in the offense. And I understand Dak had injury issues this past year, but history shows that he's at his best when he has a strong running game behind him, like we saw with Zeke, and a strong offensive line in front of him. And that's the way the Cowboys are going to click offensively. Although there are other pieces in need for the Cowboys team for going forward, but I really think that focusing on Dak Prescott first and fixing his inabilities right now will kind of help the team in the long run, especially with the new coaching staff. And as far as Kelvin Banks goes, I think he's also very versatile. Yeah, he played left tackle at Texas, but I think we can move him inside or outside, right? He has a good build to do either of it. And Zach Martin leaving, and I think this man could be a kind of a plug-and-play kind of player where you just put him in at guard just to see what he's like, try him out in practice, and maybe give him some couple reps during the preseason to see how he does. And that's the way I want to start him out. And he also has a great ability to kind of pull, to kind of assist in the run game there, where he can get to that next level and kind of run over defenders. And that can really assist not only in screen passes, but run game as well. And people like CeeDee Lamb and Kevontae Turpin really want to be more involved in the offense, especially in the screen game. And a player like Kelvin Banks can really assist with that. What do you think?
One thing about Kelvin Banks, I like where he's from. He's from Humboldt, Texas, right outside the Houston area. He's got a little bit of Jonathan Ogden in him. We know how well a player he was coming out of UCLA, going with the Baltimore Ravens. A little bit of Walter Jones, who played a mainstay with the Seattle Seahawks. A little bit of Ryan Clady, that's with the Denver Broncos. And, of course, Mr. Banks, if you want to say a mirror twin, Willie Roth outstanding defensive tackle, had a great career with the New Orleans Saints and the Kansas City Chiefs. One thing I like about Mr. Banks, he was a 3-year starter at Texas, started from day one when he got on campus in Austin. But most of all, when you look at all the great offensive tackles that I mentioned that played at a high level in the National Football League, he's athletic. And that's what you got to have when you got a left tackle out there on the island protecting all these great pass rushers in the National Football League. And of course, he's out of the University of Texas. Leonard Davis, Derek Darkey, Doug Dawson, Herb Gray, all great University of Texas linemen. So this gentleman is going to be the first offensive tackle taken off the board, in my opinion. And then you're looking at what the Dallas Cowboys need. Tyron Smith left them last year in free agency and went to the Jets. And yesterday, the big news, my man, and I'd like to give congratulations to you, Mr. Zach Martin, for your 13 years playing with the Dallas Cowboys organization. It's so unfortunate that you didn't get to the Super Bowl with some of the teams that you was on. Back to you, Mr. Patel, your final words about Mr. Kelvin Banks today.
Yeah, a tremendous player as he is, and he's going to be terrific at the next level. There are some weaknesses that I did see when I was watching his film, notably against Georgia in the regular season game when Georgia dominated them. I think Jalen Walker did a number on him, not only in the bull rush, but also in the spin move and got around the corner around him as well. And if you see the film, he got beat multiple times. And I feel like that's an area he needs to improve, where when he's going up against these better pass rushers in the game, he needs some coaching out there, right? And a lot of times when he does get beat, he has a tendency to hold. And at the next level, they are going to call that, right? And you're going to be dissected about that too, and they're going to call you out in the film room. So I think he does require a little bit of coaching, but he's still an extremely young player at 21 years old. Although he has 3 years of experience, NFL is a different ballgame. And I feel like the coaching staff will clear that up with him. We have a new OC coming in Adam Clayton. He did a great job with the Arizona offensive line there, and kind of had a resurgence with James Conner's career after he fixed the offensive line. And that's the same coaching that I think Kelvin Banks will need as well. But if anybody can do it, I believe it's the Dallas Cowboys coaching staff, and I think this player fits well in their needs. And one final stat I do want to give on Kelvin Banks is, as a true freshman, this man only gave up 2 sacks and 405 passing blocks as a freshman. I think that's a tremendous ability in pass blocks. His run blocking ability is incredible as well. And I think he's going to be a Pro Bowl to maybe an all-pro caliber player in the future. And the future is bright for him.
I'm going to say this as I end 100 yards of football a day with our prospect, Mr. Kelvin Banks. You brought up the Jalen Walker game. When you playing at a level and you playing with other great athletes, you're going to have a bad game. The best of the best is going to get you. And the SEC is the best football conference still in all of America. Check the receipts and how many players going to go early in the 2025 NFL draft. If you like the video today, please come in and share it. We surely appreciate it here on 100 Yards of Football. Mr. Kelvin Banks is the gentleman we talked about, the offensive tackle out of the University of Texas. Special thanks and honor to our guest today, Mr. Avish Patel, Dallas Cowboys insider, NFL draft insider, and to our producer today, Mr. Logan Landers. Y'all be blessed here on 100 Yards of Football.